Lord Jesus Christ, and welcome to St. Cyril Methodius Orthodox Church. I'm Father Gregory, the pastor. It's good to have you with us here this afternoon on Saturday, January 30th, and it is about 4:15 here in Mad City. And we've got a snowstorm coming, 3 to 6 inches of snow and 25 to 35 mile an hour gusts of wind and cold. And honestly, it's looking very unpleasant for later in the day. And I'm not sure if we'll have liturgy tomorrow. I guess that we'll find out tomorrow morning. But tonight we have Vespers, and that'll be starting in about an hour and a quarter, and about 45 minutes, about 5 o'clock. So hopefully, if you're watching this now, you'll be able to join us then, and that'd be great. One of the things that I've come to really appreciate is how much I miss face-to-face conversations with people. Earlier today, I was recording my lecture for my seminary students, and I think it probably went well, but in my mind, by about halfway through, I really had lost the thread of what I was trying to say. It was all written out, so I kept going, but I didn't understand. And the reason I didn't understand my own words is because I didn't have students in front of me. I was just speaking into a camera. I think that's really one of the hardest parts about the pandemic and the restrictions that have been imposed on us, to keep us safe. Reasonable though these restrictions might be, in many, many ways, they are very difficult. They rob us of those face-to-face encounters. And so everything becomes mediated through video screens or email, but very little face-to-face. Think of it as that those face-to-face relationships are really what humanize us. They are the things that teach us what it means to be really and truly human. And when they're not present, when we suffer the kind of isolation, even the kind of, like a prisoner in solitary confinement, or even the more mild isolation that we're feeling now, it is not unexpected that we would begin to lose a little bit of our humanity, at least lose a grip on our humanity. And I'm thinking especially of the use of reason. Reason is that faculty that allows me to perceive the world as God has intended it to be. St. Maximus the Confessor said that in the logi, in the small, in the nature of created things, we have a revelation of the divine nature. So when reason suffers, when I lose the ability to discern, I lose a little bit of my connection with God. And because I lose that connection with God, I begin to lose my connection with other human beings. One of the great things about the American experiment is that we are meant to be a nation of laws, by which we mean not bureaucratic process, but face-to-face encounters between litigants in court and between legislators in Congress and neighbors. And this is what it is for us to be a nation of laws. We are a nation of face-to-face encounters, of the exercise of reason as we go about our common life. So this loss of face-to-face interaction is not only hard on us psychologically and spiritually, but also it is hard on us politically and as a civil society. All levels of human society have been affected. The church, state, family, all have suffered because of these lack of face-to-face relationships. Even if, for example, we see the people in our families every day, the fact that those other face-to-face relationships have largely have in large measure disappeared or have been curtailed greatly affects how we respond even to our family members. So what are we going to do? What should we do? Well, I think the first thing is to simply acknowledge the loss, to understand and to say to ourselves that we have suffered this loss in not being able to see each other face to face. And to understand that it's not a loss that we've suffered personally, but the people that we meet every day have also suffered this loss. As my wife and I say to each other all the time, nobody's at their best these days. That's the first thing. The other thing to keep in mind is that when we experience this kind of isolation, even if it's a relatively mild isolation, we need to expect that, to speak psychologically a moment, that we'll have all sorts of emotional struggles, but especially I think we'll have cognitive struggles. We'll have trouble with memory and we'll have trouble understanding. And into that gap will frequently step or emerge, frankly, paranoid ideation. We'll begin to suspect that the world or that someone is out to get us. We will become suspicious, distrusting. When you feel that distrust rising in you, when you think that people are out to get you or that the future is just bleak and nothing but sorrow and darkness, at that point, it might be good to step back, to make the sign of the cross, and to pray to God, ask for his grace so that you can have a calm heart, so that you will have the wisdom and discernment and the strength to take into consideration the loss that you're suffering, the loss that other people are suffering, and to behave in a manner which is helpful, to think in a manner which is helpful. But all of it begins by acknowledging the loss that we've suffered. I love teaching, but I must confess I do not like recording my lectures for the students to watch at some time yet to be determined. I miss seeing them. Even if seeing them means hopping on a plane at 6 o'clock in the morning, flying to New Jersey, driving to the seminary, teaching my class, going to bed for six or 7 hours of sleep, driving back to the airport, and flying out less than 24 hours after I got in. Even if it's exhausting, it's good to see them. So go find the face of someone you love and talk to them. Spend time with them. And, even if you can't see everyone or as many people as you used to see, treasure the conversations you can have, those face-to-face conversations you can have with people, even under our extraordinarily painful and awkward circumstances. Well, it's 4:20 now, and Vesper starts in about 40 minutes, so I better get ready for that. So thanks for being with me this afternoon. I hope you come back for Vespers at 5 o'clock. If you do come back for Vespers 5 o'clock, give us a thumbs up or a heart, make a comment, just so we know you're there. And then, of course, tomorrow morning we have liturgy starting at 9:30, God and the weather willing. And then after the Divine Liturgy, we'll do a memorial service for some priests who died in the last year, Father Patrick Kinder, Father Michael Vanderhoff, Father John Winfrey, and the bishop who ordained me, Metropolitan Maximus of the Greek Archdiocese. We'll pray for these men who have figured so prominently in the life of the church, not only in our nation, but also here in Mad City. All right. Well, God bless everyone. Bye-bye, and I'll see you in about a half hour. Take care.